Okay, let's get started. So Emma Jagoz, I had the great pleasure of getting to know at a farmpreneurship program that we ran at the Stone Barn Center for Food and Agriculture in the Hudson Valley, New York last year. And Emma was selected from a very large application pool and proved herself to be a dynamo in terms of her vision for how to feed the local community of Maryland and Washington, D.C. And just in the last year, it's been almost a miracle to behold the agile pivot that she made, because a lot of her customers were in the restaurant industry. And so she effectively reinvented her whole farming business to meet the challenges of the pandemic. And I'm so happy to say I've been kind of looking over her shoulder and following her on Instagram at Moon Valley Farm. And every day she tells a heroic story of feeding people. And I thought she'd just be a great addition to our lineup this morning. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome Emma Jagoz.
Thank you, Will. So I am Emma Jagoz, the founder of Moon Valley Farm, and let me tell you about it. So Moon Valley Farm, we're an organic vegetable farm, and that's how we started. But we also now provide our customers with carefully curated products from other local farms in Maryland, with other products like mushrooms, organic grains, dry beans, bread, fruit, and even salt, a bunch of other products to help create a full plant-powered diet in a weekly veggie box for our CSA members, and also to offer those items to the chefs and restaurants we still sell to. Our vision is local organic veggies for everyone. Love. So I pulled this slide actually from our entrepreneurship program from last year, and I got to change my number there. My business started 10 years ago. I was absolutely by myself with two babies who were less than 2 years old, both. And I started growing in my backyard. We grew on about a 1/4 acre and had a 12-member CSA program. I started farming in part because I really wanted to provide my children, myself, and my family with really healthy ingredients. And what I considered to be a healthy ingredient is mostly plants, and really freshly harvested ones. My CSA membership has grown to over 550 members, and I've grown the weeks that I serve them from 23 weeks or 22 weeks out of the year to now 52 weeks. This is Joe, our delivery driver. As Will mentioned, when COVID hit, we decided to start offering home delivery. We actually didn't even wait any days. COVID hit immediately. Here it was about a Thursday when we were informed that restaurants might be closing down. The following week, we had offered our CSA program to start. So we started doing home delivery for individuals and families in the Baltimore, DC, and Frederick areas that week. And we also sell to over 50 restaurants in Baltimore, DC, and Frederick. So yeah, home delivery really was our main pivot this year, even though we were still growing for a CSA program. So why farm? I get this question a lot because I have a lot of different I have a lot of different talents, you know, not to be boastful, but, you know, farming, I think, is a career that a lot of people downplay as something that that doesn't require a lot of smarts. And I want to share with you several of the reasons behind my concept and idea to farm. I believe that the land use in the United States and beyond is killing the environment, and that is a huge contribution to climate change. Aside from that, our diets are making our bodies sick, and our diets are based on how we are using the land right now. So it's a double whammy. The corn and soy rotations that are ubiquitous throughout the landscape, especially in the mid-Atlantic, but across the United States, the herbicides and fertilizers are murdering our bay. And our bay is the largest estuary in North America, and it's supposed to help be the breather for our whole ecosystem, and we're just dumping chemicals into it. It's destroying our environment. The CAFO operations aren't healthy for the animals, the people, or the soil. Our diets are causing us heart disease and other illnesses that's causing us to be reliant on chemicals. You know, it's a vicious cycle, and it's all connected. I think people also are sort of lacking in having meaningful careers. I know that a lot of millennials like myself are really interested in meaningful work that they aren't finding everywhere. I think that organic farms are a big part of the solution, because they create a lot of jobs. Organic farming is labor intensive. It's not something that we can just hire robots to do. And organic farms, by definition, care for the soil. They they add organic matter to the soil. We are stewards of the land, and so we are increasing the carbon holding capacity of soil, and that's a huge thing that we need in climate change. We can feed our communities with the soil that we have, with the acres that we have, with everything that we already have. We can help curb climate change. We can increase the health in our bodies. We can employ more people with meaningful employment. And so I think we need more of us, more organic farmers. So I am a first-generation farmer. I started farming the first year that I started my farm. I am entirely self-taught. I went to college for American Studies and Women's Studies, and I found that I didn't want to continue on with school or that track, but I wanted to do meaningful work in a way that I thought would help sort of be activist in my everyday work. But I didn't start the farm with any money or land. So I bootstrapped the operation and bought my first piece of property last year. We're on 25 acres. So I am actually, a unique thing about me is that I have never eaten meat in my entire life. I was vegetarian as my family was vegetarian when I was born, and I have been vegan for 11 years. I have these two kids here. They are 10 and 11, and they have been free-range farm kids their entire life. I run the business myself now, but I did have a business partner from 2015 to early in 2020. And that's my daughter and a little glimpse of our farm. This is a piece of land that we had, that I farmed for, based on a barter agreement, for about 5 years. And I wanted to share this photo of crimson clover blooming on it, because this is an example of why and how organic farmers increase soil health, biodiversity, and everything like that, even on leased land. The fact that I leased land to start my business didn't deter me from taking the long-term efforts in planting cover crops and improving the soil in it, because that's just what organic farming is all about. The care of the earth is our most ancient and most worthy, and after all, our most pleasing responsibility. To cherish what remains of it and to foster its renewal is our only hope. Wendell Berry.
Emma,
Yes.
thank you for summoning Wendell Berry into our symposium. It's really critical, and I know what an animating force his words and leadership are for you and so many other farmers, new farmers, old farmers, and just people committed to the food movement. I'm afraid that just given our packed schedule today, that
Yes.
we're never going to get into the depth. So what I want to do, I have to keep us on time, because actually our next speaker is in the Netherlands, and if I don't do that, she's going to have to go to bed. So I wanted you to offer this. I want to encourage everybody to follow Emma on Instagram. It's one of my vicarious thrills every day, because she really, and her team, do such a good job of showing the movements of nature and people in harmony. And as you get to know Emma more, you'll see how her spirit and her intention permeates the quality of the food that comes off her farm. And I've just been immensely impressed and proud at how someone who started in her backyard over 10 years aggregated a whole bunch of different properties and then ended up getting to buy her own property. So I know many of you have specific questions for Emma, and I'm just going to encourage you to reach out to her directly today. So we're so grateful that you could jump in and join us, and we're going to have you back at our next symposium with more time to go deeper into the soil at Moon Valley Farm. So thank you, Emma. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.